Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Austin, Texas. This is day 1586 of the 3+ minutes of Plank Challenge. And as always, I'm filled with gratitude. Thoughts on my mind this morning. Yesterday was a really, really good day. And it's so interesting. I always talk about the idea of always going into the day with gratitude, no matter where you are in the space you are or what you're feeling. And yesterday was one of those days that, though I was filled with gratitude, I went into it with, what did I go into with it? Just like I wasn't all the way there. And I needed to go out on a run. I didn't end up running, so I walked for 13 miles. And I had 2 interactions that sort of changed my perspective. I met a gentleman by the name of Eric who was running in Georgetown as I was walking by. And we had come to this point where we were on the same trail, and there was a gentleman in front of me, and I had to slow down my pace and he had to slow down his pace. But we were both conscious of it. So later on in the run, I see him, and right after the run, I asked him, I was like, hey man, how was the run today? And he said to me, it was good, but I had to learn to slow down. And that started our conversation. We talked about 20 minutes or so, and his name is Eric. He's 54 years old. He's a general surgeon, married with 2 kids. And he was telling me about trying to get back into shape and trying to get away from the excuses. And so he was saying, even though he's not the man that he used to be, that doesn't mean that he has to be the man that he is now. He talked about putting his mom in a retirement home, and while being in there and just seeing how men and women were living and understanding that the steps that we take right now in our lives can define where we are later on in life. And I fully understood it. I was really grateful for the conversation and the perspective. Then I met a gentleman by the name of Tony. I actually met him in Costco, and he just came up randomly to me and approached me. And I had this really cool conversation from Seattle, former Vietnam War veteran. And we talked about karma. We talked about life, perspective, and faith. Just a really cool moment. And I was just thinking how these moments just came about. And I think about the way that life brings us and presents us things that we need to see, even sometimes we're not ready to see it. And that gratitude that I was working towards to in the morning became true and authentic in those interactions. Interesting. Anyway, that's my thoughts for the day. As always, be blessed today and every day. Thank you for listening. Peace.